In week 3 of World Series boxing in Group C, Rafako Hussars Poland hosted the Russian boxing team, and it was the Russians' first outing of the season. The Rafako Hussars lost their opening fixture 3-2 to the Caciques Venezuela. We're looking to bounce back against the Russians. The opening bout of the night at Flyweight between Hamza Taube and Ovik Oganessian. Taube, who competed in the recent World Championships in Doha, a 5-time German national champion, certainly had his work cut out against Oganessian. Oganessian's rugged approach paid dividends, particularly in the early stages of the fight. Taube, though, towards the second half, came back into it to set things up at 2 rounds apiece going into the final round, and it was Taube who got the nod from the judges to get the Hussars off to a good start. Lightweights next. David Michaelis against Gabel Mamedov. Michaelis, an experienced campaigner in WSB. Mamedov less so, had moved through 4 different weight classes over the last few years, and Mamedov showed some glimpses of some really flashy, crisp work, but it was Michaelis really who was the busier of the two, the more industrious of the two, and that was what got him the win to give the Hussars a 2-0 lead and leaving the Russian boxing team with everything to do. So into the welterweights, and Albert Karibian of Russia knew that he needed to get a point on the board to keep the Russians in it, and against Damian Kiwior, he was the better fighter. Heavy hands Karibian looks to have, particularly that right hand, that right uppercut got through on a number of occasions, and it was Karibian who took a 3-0 lead on all 3 judges' scorecards after the opening 3 sessions. But Kiwior, to his credit, came back into the fight in the final 2 rounds, really dug deep, showed a lot of grit and worked very, very hard. No knockdown signal by the referee in the later stages, although to my mind that could have been called, but it was Karibian who clinched the win, which got the Russian boxing team back into the contest. Next up were the super heavyweights. Pavel Vyazbitsky, a silver medalist at the 2012 World Youth Championships, up against Yaroslav Doronichev, just the 20 years of age from Russia. And Doronichev had a very good opening 3 rounds, really staggered Vyazbitsky as well, who had to take the standing count. Doronichev showing great judgment of distance, slipping punches by mere fractions at times, but Vyazbitsky, like his teammates earlier on, came back into the fight in the final couple of rounds. Again, showing great heart, great desire to really take Doronichev out of his comfort zone and make him work very, very hard right up until the final bell. But it was Doronichev who held on to level things up at 2 points each, which meant that going into the light heavyweights, it was a winner-takes-all situation between Arkadiusz Shvedovich, the inexperienced 21-year-old, and the immensely experienced Pavel Silyagin. Silyagin won bronze at the recent World Championships, was 5-0 in WSB last season. But as usual, he was a touch of a slow starter. But as the fight progressed, Silyagin got more into it, found his range a little bit more, sat back on his punches a touch, and managed to find the target with increasing regularity, and opened up an unassailable lead going into the final round. And it was Silyagin who got the nod from the judges, 49 points to 46 on all 3 cards to give Russia the win. So the Hussars, for the 2nd consecutive match, losing 3-2, got that bonus point, but it's Russia beating semi-finalists last season who emerged victorious.